Hey guys, I'm Mark Scott. Thanks for checking out another voiceover tip. This week we are talking pay-to-plays, one of the most heavily debated topics in the voiceover industry. In 2014, I had my highest earning year to date as a voice actor, and I did it without a single paid membership on a pay-to-play site. The only reason I tell you that is simply to point out that it is possible to achieve success in this business without being on the pay-to-plays. That said, there's nothing inherently wrong with them if they are part of your business model. However, there are a few things that I want you to take into consideration. First of all, it's okay to use the pay-to-play as part of your voiceover business model, but don't make it the only tool in your toolbox. You still have to be out there on your own actively looking for voiceover work. You have to be actively marketing yourself. Whether you are sending emails or doing cold calls, whether you're working with agencies or agents, if you're using social media to try and find work, you've got to be out there trying to find work on your own. Don't make the pay-to-play your exclusive source of voiceover income. That's never going to be a great way to build a sustainable business. Second thing I want you to think about is the fact that as you are a business trying to make a profit, the pay-to-plays are a business trying to make a profit. And what that means is that they're not necessarily always going to be looking out for the best interests of the voice actor. They're looking out for the best interests of their business. They always want to have more members and more sold memberships. They're always going to be looking for ways to collect more commissions because as you are always looking for more work to make more profit, they are always looking for more ways to make more profit for their business. It's the nature of capitalism and entrepreneurship. We're all out there trying to make money. So just keep that in mind as you watch the way that they operate their business and know that they're not necessarily looking out for you as the voice actor. They're looking out for themselves as a business and how they can earn more money. Another thing I want you to take into consideration is how much time you're spending on them every day. If you're waking up first thing in the morning and you're spending all day, 8 hours submitting auditions, 20, 30, 40, 50 auditions across all the pay-to-plays, you better be making some substantial income from that. Otherwise, it's time to evaluate whether or not it's working for you. You need to sit down and you need to do the math. You need to crunch the numbers to figure out whether or not this is a viable business model for you. Again, it sort of comes back to the fact that they can be one tool in your toolbox, but not the only tool in your toolbox if you're trying to build a sustainable income. The other thing I want you to consider, this is the final thing I'm going to hit on, is rates and budgets. For the most part now, the pay-to-play sites are setting the budgets and/or rates, which means that to a certain degree, you no longer have control over the rates that you are charging for your services. So if you're going to use the pay-to-plays, you're going to have to be willing to compromise to a certain degree on some jobs. Now, that doesn't mean that all the budgets are bad or that all the rates are low, but it does mean that often the rates may not be the same as yours. And it also does tend to create an environment on some of the sites where the lowest bidder stands the best chance. And if you're working your way towards the bottom, that is not the way to build a growing and sustainable business for the long term. Nothing inherently wrong with the pay-to-plays. I have used them in the past. I've got some great clients from them in the past. I just found that for me, in the end, it wasn't the best business model for me. So if you're going to use them, just make sure that you're using them wisely. So what do you guys think about pay-to-play, and how are you using the pay-to-play sites in your business? I don't want this to turn into a pay-to-play bashing session, but I am curious to know whether you've had success, if there are certain sites that work better for you than others. Leave it in the comments below. Let's get a dialogue going. Don't forget, you can connect with me on my website at markscottvoiceover.com and also on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Have you got other voiceover questions that you would like to have answered? I'd love to hear from you and maybe take care of answering those questions in an upcoming tip video. Speaking of tips, want more voiceover advice? Newsletter.markscottvoiceover.com.